Good afternoon, Flint Hills Bible Church. This is Pastor Dave giving you another Thursday Pastor Update. And this Sunday is going to be a milestone. It'll be our last virtual Sunday. Starting June 7th, we're going to gradually reintegrate and phase you back into the congregation. I know I am looking forward to it. As much as I like preaching to a camera, I'd rather preach face to face because that's really the way it should be. And so this Sunday for our Bible study hour, the elders are going to be up front. We're going to go through a Q&A, kind of give you some directions and some perspective as we move forward to these next 2 weeks. And so this is what we want to ask of you. We're going to start an RSVP process. As you know, we have 3 rooms. We have the auditorium, we have the chapel, and we have the youth lounge, and we're going to try to put people in different rooms. And so if you can call and let us know or fill out an online survey so that we have an idea of who is going to come, we can plan more effectively. Now naturally, we're not going to turn anybody away at the door. If for some reason you did not RSVP and you show up, we're going to make sure that we're going to accommodate you as well. But this is just a courtesy RSVP. Now, something else that people have asked is how long will this go on? Well, at the moment, we are planning for 2 Sundays of phasing in, and then we'll make an adjustment. Now, one thing that we're not really certain on is whether or not we'll be able to have children's ministry at any point in time soon. We're kind of waiting for some local officials and the governor to give us some more guidance in that area. And so that makes for a kind of a tricky situation as we plan for VBS. When looking at VBS, we were really faced with 2 options, considering that we can't necessarily go on as planned before. One is just not to do it, not to have a VBS, just save it for next year. The other option would be to have a modified VBS. And when we were kind of thinking through the issue, and we know that many of the 6th graders will have their last chance at VBS, we decided to modify it by shrinking the scope, by making choices now that we know we can fulfill in the future. And right now we're reasonably confident that we can have a VBS for elementary school age children. So this year we're going to have a VBS, same date. It will be for graduates of kindergarten to graduates of the 6th grade. Now we understand that some of you little guys, you preschool students, won't be able to do it this year, and it breaks my heart. You're part of the reason why I love going to VBS, because you're also photogenic and cute, but this is just not the year where we can really pull it off. But what we are going to try to do is we're going to try to allow you to participate virtually. I know it's not the same thing, but we're going to move all of the activities down to the auditorium. The drama will be in the auditorium so that you can take advantage of the live streaming. We're going to make some VBS packets available for you. And so this year it won't work, but hopefully next year will be bigger and better than ever. Also, we want to encourage you all to volunteer if you can. We think we're going to have more than enough, and so if you volunteer and for some reason you get turned down, don't take it personally. We just are happy that you step forward, and we will take advantage of that willing heart perhaps in later years. Now, June 7th, we'll all be together in a somewhat fragmented way. And one of the things I've been thinking about is how different it's going to be. Now, there's going to be a temptation when we get together to maybe lament that it's not like what it was. We won't be doing a fellowship time. Not everybody is going to be in the same room. You're going to see different people wearing masks. There's not going to be any children's ministry. And so as we come together, there might be a tendency for you to just maybe lament or be dissatisfied with the openings that the Lord has given us. And so I wanted to give you some perspective on that. And I wanted to talk to you about the principle of contentment. Now, Paul, when he was writing the letter to the Philippians, was actually under house arrest. I mean, you can kind of relate, can't you? I mean, some of you have been under house arrest, not allowed to leave your home. Well, Paul was like that, and more so. He was in a very non-comfortable environment where he was actually chained to a Roman guard. And yet, as he is speaking to the Philippians, he does so from a posture of joy. You know, it's really interesting in Philippians 2:14 through 15, he calls on the Philippians to do the following: do all things without grumbling or disputing, that you may be blameless and innocent, children of God, without blemish in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. You know, you can tell that children are different and well raised by the absence of complaining. In the same way, when Christians do not complain, when we are content, when we are joyful, especially during this time where so many things are taken away from us, we shine like the stars of the universe. And so that's my challenge for our flock is, let's be a different people that demonstrates the joy and the hope that we have by the absence of complaining and the presence of contentment. Moving on in the letter, Paul gives a big thank you to the Philippians for their love gift that they shared with him. And then he says this in Philippians 4:10-13, I rejoiced in the Lord greatly that now at length you have revived your concern for me. You were indeed concerned for me, but had no opportunity. Not that I'm speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low. I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. When we come together on June 7th, we are going to be celebrating Christ. He is our Savior. He's our Messiah. He is our Redeemer. He is our brother. He is our friend. He is our high priest. He is the leader of the church. We're going to come together and we are going to celebrate Him. And I think one thing to really focus on is He pleased with our worship? Is He honored with our attitudes? Are we celebrating Him? And if He's happy and He's the head of the church and if He's the whole point, then we should be happy. I know that the Lord wants what's best for us, and in His providence, this is the situation that we are in. And we have a great opportunity to show ourselves as a different, wonderful, holy people through our contentment. You know, it's interesting, whenever I go on a missions trip, I always have all the people who are on the mission trip to sign a covenant of contentment. You know what? I tell the people that you're going to be in a different environment with different food, that tastes different, that has different impact on your body. People are going to speak a different language, they have different customs, you're going to miss home, you're going to sleep in different beds. There's going to be a lot of reasons for complaining, a lot of temptations. But I had them sign a covenant of contentment because the whole point is not our comfort, but the exaltation of Christ. And that's the whole point of our worship service, is to come together content that Christ is being lifted up, being content that Christ is being exalted. So friends, I'm looking forward to seeing you again. We're going to make this journey together. And my goal and prayer is that we do it in such a way that we show that we are a different people, a people who have been redeemed by Christ, transformed by Christ, and that Christ-like character will show itself in how we handle this pandemic.